I'm in west central Illinois, sitting in a ground blind on a standing bean field, and I've got a decoy in front of me. I'm gonna give it time to see if any deer come in to feed on the beans, but I'm also gonna be pretty aggressive with my calling because I know bucks are cruising based on what I've seen the night before and the days leading up to that, and I want them right at first light to get that sound out there, that calling, and let them know, hey, something's happening at the bean plot this morning. I look up and a 1.5-year-old comes into the calling. He's not aggressive, he doesn't want to mess with the decoy, he just wanted to come in and see what was going on, maybe steal a doe while a couple bucks are fighting, but he doesn't want anything to do with an older buck, and he just kind of slinks off, feeds a little bit, and then leaves the field. So later on in the morning, it's a little after 10 o'clock, I do another rattling sequence. Immediately we see this is a much better buck. This isn't a deer I'm familiar with, and I don't know what the exact age is. And I've got a very short amount of time to ascertain whether I'm going to shoot this deer or not because of the speed he's coming in and the direct line he's taken. He is going to be well within shooting range in a matter of seconds. First thing I notice, big body. But I can also tell by the way his hair is standing up and the coloration of the hair that they'll get that darkening effect to the hair when it stands up. I know he's blown up. He's posturing hard. His ears are pinned back. You see he's dripping saliva. His eyes at one point roll back in his head. Everything you see when a buck comes in and postures up, he's doing it. So I know he appears bigger than he probably is, just based on all those things. The rack is telling me this is a 3-year-old. His body looks like he's a 4-year-old. Those two things are conflicting for me, and it gets to the point where as I'm putting all that together, now this deer is circling in, and he's inside of 20 yards, and I've got to make a decision here pretty quick. Ultimately, I decide this isn't a deer I'm going to shoot because in my mind, I rationalize the fact that this deer has to be a 3-year-old based on all those things. And we end up letting this deer walk. We could have shot him 50 different times. This just wasn't the right deer. Nonetheless, it created an incredible piece of video, like I said, and really was educational for me. And it made me go through a lot of things in a real quick amount of time because of how hard this buck came into the calling.
How cool is that? Just a nice solid 10. But he all swelled up when he come into the decoy shoot. He got to 18 yards here. We just need that next class bigger is what I'm looking for. So that was fun right there though. That was cool. 10 o'clock in the morning, a little after 10 o'clock.
It was a great encounter for me. And again, like I said earlier, it really was educational for me because it forced me to make decisions pretty quick on a buck that I was kind of on the line on when it first come in. And I think anytime, whether you shoot a buck or not, you can put yourself in a position to learn a little bit and get you that much closer to being quicker the next time that scenario happens. That's a success, even though I didn't release an arrow. So a couple keys contributed to having this encounter with this particular buck. My intel, both the night before sitting in this field and seeing what I saw, and then my cameras were telling me that I still have mature bucks walking around specifically in this area that weren't locked up yet. And then obviously knowing that, I had the confidence to call with that black rack and reach out. I wanted to get that call out as far as I could. I could see for a good range in this bean field, and I knew that I wanted to get a call out to as far as I could because I knew bucks were cruising, and that's exactly the scenario that played out here. My intel put me in the spot, and then my calling based off that intel allowed me to pull that buck in and offer up a perfect shot opportunity had I wanted to take it.
Want to experience the same results you just witnessed? Use what the Deer Society experts use. The Extinguisher Deer Call and Black Rack Rattling System are the highest rated deer communication systems of all time, and less than 1% of deer hunters will have the opportunity to buy one this season. Get yours today at thedeersociety.com. Order now.